Hi everyone, Vincenzo here with a new ukulele tutorial. This week, let's learn how to play one of the most iconic rock riffs ever, Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. This is the fourth lesson of a 10-lesson series designed to take your playing to the next level. And the aim for today is to learn how to play a rock riff on the ukulele. In addition to that, last week you learned about ear training. And so after working on this cool riff, I will show you the connection between ear training and Smoke on the Water. Moreover, I will teach you one more interval. Anyway, enough with the talking and let's get started. You start with the second fret on the third string and the third fret on the second string together, like this. Make sure you're confident with this shape because this is gonna be fundamental for today's lesson. And one more thing, when you play two notes at the same time, it's called a double stop. You carry on and you have 5 and 6 together and then 7 and 8 together. As you can see, I'm just moving this shape down the fretboard. By the way, remember to add some vibrato on the last double stop, like this. Let's put this together, 3, 4. One thing to bear in mind is that you want these double stops to be short, and so I'm lightly lifting my index and middle finger, you see, after playing them. Just enough to stop the sound. Before going any further, let me tell you something about the right hand. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the thumb for the third string and the index for the second string. However, if you find this hard, you can play this riff only with your thumb and it will still work. You see? Having said that, you now have again second fret on the third string and third fret on the second string together, then 5 and 6, and then it's different. In fact, you have 8, 9 slide to 7, 8, you know, like this. And also here add a bit of vibrato. By the way, if you're not familiar with slides, you can check out this tutorial or you can simply plug 7, 8, you know, like this. And it will still work. It's important to understand that for the second part of the riff, although you start with the same notes as before, the tempo is different. In fact, you start on the end of beat 4, so on the second eighth note. Let me play it for you and remember to avoid having notes ringing out. 3 and 4. Now let's play the entire riff up to here. 3, 4. So for the second part, you simply repeat the riff up to here, and then the ending is different. You have 5 on the third string and 6 on the second string together, and then 2 and 3 with vibrato. So let's play the second part of the riff. 3, 4. Okay, now you're ready to play the entire riff. Let's do it slowly, say at 80 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. Make sure you practice this with a metronome and with the backing track. By the way, on my Patreon page, you can find 3 backing tracks, one at the original tempo, one slower, and another one even slower. And of course, the tabs. Now let's have a play along at 112 BPM, which is the tempo you want to aim for. I will be playing the entire riff 4 times. Having said that, get ready, you're about to start playing. If you're still here, that means that you're following the course, or that simply you want to know what's the link between ear training and smoke on the water. So let me tell you, remember this shape? This is the shape of a perfect fourth interval. You see, this is what a perfect fourth sounds like. Quick thing, this can also be a descending perfect fifth if I play it from a different point of view, meaning, you see, like this. But let's leave this topic for another time. Now that you know what the perfect fourth sounds like, let me tell you that you have a perfect fourth interval, for example, between fret number 2 of the third string and fret number 3 of the second string. You know this from Smoke on the Water. Another example is between fret number 2 of the second string and fret number 2 of the first string. So that means that each time you see these shapes, these are all gonna be perfect fourths. A song example for the perfect fourth interval is the melody of Amazing Grace. And again, I'm talking about the first two notes of this melody, these ones. Anyway, let me play it for you. So you have fret number 5 on the third string, then fret number 6, and there you go, the perfect fourth. Then 5, 6, and 5, then 8, 6, 7, and you end on fret number 5. All together now, 1, 2, 3. Another example is the guitar riff from the verse of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. You know this one. There you go, your perfect fourth interval. Now you will have a very quick test. In fact, you will hear 4 intervals twice and you will have to decide whether they are perfect fourths or not. Let's go. Question 1. Question 2. Question 3. Question 4. The aim of this tutorial was to teach you the riff of Smoke on the Water and at the same time keep working on ear training. On my Patreon page you can find the tabs and the backing tracks that you need for practicing this. And in addition to that you will find the tabs of the other melodies I've mentioned today. By the way, you also have the option of sending me your homework, whether it's a video or an audio file, and receiving some personalized feedback from me. That is if you join the Master Ukuleles tier. Of course, that goes for all my tutorials, not just for this one. Also, don't forget that if you learned something from this video and you would like to say thank you, you can buy me a coffee. Link in the description. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments if you managed to play Smoke on the Water. And don't forget to download my free 8-step roadmap, link in the description, that will tell you the exact process I follow to learn the ukulele and that will support your learning in this 10-video series. Moreover, check out the other links in the description to learn more about the types of classes that I got available at the moment. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new tutorials. Having said that, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next week with the 5th lesson of this YouTube course. Ciao!